Hey down, please, David Desai. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about military enlistment of BTS, when that is going to start and all that stuff. It might be a little bit sooner than you think. There was also talk of them kind of evading the service, but Big Hit did come out and kind of put a statement out on that. I do have a lot of thoughts on the whole military thing, so that's going to be kind of a less light tea, a less fun tea, if you will. But then we also have Suga's job as kind of a father and evidence of his fatherness. That will be a much more light and fun tea, and we shall end with that. So let's sip the tea here today. If you're new here and you're interested in this type of stuff, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so be notified anytime a new video drops. And if you're a hater, like to be the first to leave your hate comment, please make sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell also so you can be the first to do so. Now, let's get into it. I hope you are doing well and feeling great today. And if you're not, that is okay too. We're allowed to have bad days as well as our good days. And if you are having a bad day, just try to do something that is good for yourself and make yourself feel better. So we do have some good and bad news here today, specifically on the military enlistment. Now, this is a very kind of touchy subject. If you don't know, every boy over the age of 18 in Korea is basically obligated to join the military. This is, of course, if you are a South Korean citizen, not just if you're Korean. By law, you must attend the military. You must enlist for about a year or two and basically learn the training of the military. This doesn't mean that in time of war that you would be the first to be picked, because it's less likely that a celebrity would end up being picked to go to the military. They have a lot of people who aren't celebrities that get to pick first. But it's even so more beyond seeing as going to war, as they don't go to war all that much. It's more seen as an honorable, patriotic thing that citizens have to do. And basically any Korean man has done it. Your status in the world actually doesn't exempt you from doing that. So just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they don't have to do that. So that's just a little context in case you weren't aware of what the kind of Korean law is. So Jin, being the oldest of BTS, he probably normally, if he wasn't a celebrity, he would have already gone to the military. But he is going to be now the first to go in BTS. I believe his initial date had to have been a lot earlier, but then it was pushed back. And we will get into that. There was this initial rumor going around when people found out about BTS enlisting in classes in 2019. People speculated that BTS enlisted in these classes just for the reason of getting out of military enlistment. The boys were looking to enroll in advertising, media, and learning about film and all that stuff, and those type of classes. I believe Jungkook was the only one who did not enroll. We were saying, of course, that Jungkook, being the youngest, he wouldn't need to enroll because he was the youngest and he wouldn't have anything to evade. But the other members aren't that much older than Jungkook. So if that were the case, V and Jimin wouldn't need to enroll either. But I do believe they all wanted to study media just a little bit more. However, let's be honest, any teacher that's going to go up there and teach BTS about media would probably know less than BTS, because BTS has probably been in countless sets, like more than the teacher has probably. I also found it weird that this was speculated or this was even a thing, because how on earth would enrolling in a class stop you from going to the military? That's like saying if there's a war going on and people are dying, you're like, oh no, I have to stay here because I have classes. Like, they would just take you out of school. I mean, don't they do that already with a lot of Korean citizens? But Big Hit did come out and kind of deny this rumor flat out. They specifically said this: the members' admission to graduate school is not due to their military service, but they all wanted to go to school because they have the will and desire to study. Our king's always looking to learn more, to study more. It's admirable, really. They're so rich and famous and all that jazz that honestly, if they were to just retire right now and never work another day in their life or never study or never do anything like that, they would be fine. But yet they choose to study because they want to get smarter. So it's very admirable that they choose to go back and study even though they don't have to. Also, apparently, if you look it up, the laws involving the enlistment in school to evade military service was a law that was changed in 2018, which I don't believe should have ever been a law that you were allowed to go to school and not the military. And this law was changed, I believe, before they even enrolled in any of these classes. So the rumor obviously makes no sense. But also, I don't know why people would get mad over this. Well, I understand why people would get mad over not going to the military because of like loving your nation and all that jazz. But I think celebrities should be exempt. They just have a lot to do. Celebrities, I think CEOs should be exempt. I think anyone after a certain age should be exempt. Maybe after 25. Like, if you haven't done it before 25, you shouldn't be allowed to go. A lot of these people, their whole career is on the line. It's not like a normal citizen or someone who just kind of has like a regular 9 to 5. When these people who are CEOs, celebrities, or whatever, when they drop everything to go to the military, they're losing a lot. Normal people can just go to the military, kind of come out, and their normal job will take them back and they can continue their lives like nothing happened. Luckily, armies will keep Jin's name alive, as well as the other BTS boys boys who are not going to be in the military at that time. They'll constantly be tweeting and trending Jin's name. The day Jin enlists and finally goes into the military, I hope Jin's name becomes trending on Twitter. I hope he gets worldwide handsome, we love you, or something like that that shows his support as he is changing into his uniform. I did read somewhere that the military will allow people to start using their phones in the military, so he can still be there and interact with army, so that is good. Whether there'll be Wi-Fi in the trenches, we don't know. But it was said a little while ago, while there's no official statement put out, it is very much speculated that Jin should be enlisting in the military at the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021, meaning he should be enlisting very, very soon. I would imagine with the coronavirus going around, a lot of people's enlistments were kind of delayed, and it may be delayed a little bit longer to see what happens. But basically, once it's safe to go out and once it's safe for everyone to come together, I think Jin will be forced to enlist. Which is interesting because we know that they're working on a new album. So will Jin be in that album? And if he is in that album, which he's likely to be, I guess, when BTS starts touring with just the 6 of them, Jin won't be there to sing his parts. I don't know. You guys have to give me your opinions on that. I don't know what to think at this point. There was speculation before that Jin would have enlisted in June. As you can see, that was not true. Seems like a lot of people knew this already, but maybe weren't ready for it. One person on Twitter wrote, Jin will enlist in the military perhaps at the end of 2020 or early 2021. It is definitely one thing to kind of be aware that this is going to happen, but I don't think any of us will be ready when it finally becomes announced. I can just imagine if I were to be him. Now, I would be scared. Now, I don't know if he would perhaps be scared. And just maybe be scared of the fact that it's just a completely new thing. Like, it's different from what he normally does and just a whole completely new experience. Maybe a good experience for him too. I really hope Jin goes ahead and makes new friends over there because I'm sure there's a lot of people with different stories over there that could definitely inspire him. Maybe he'll come out of the military, be so inspired, and he'll direct a military type of movie. Ooh, that'll be good. It's kind of sad to see Jin leave as he is kind of like the father figure of the group. Similarly to how they compare Suga and RM as kind of the father figure of the group as well. Suga is definitely seen to be looking out after all the boys. Jin now is usually the one who makes a lot of dad jokes. They're so corny, but for some reason they kind of work. Try not to make those jokes in the military though. They might roast you if you make those jokes. RM of course is seen as one of the really smart ones, the philosophical one, the one that likes to give advice to everybody. Basically all the older ones are seen as the dad of the group. Understandable. An article was posted on Weverse recently saying if Suga kept his promise, did Hyung keep his promise? And then something along the lines of him being like a father. The article mentioned how Suga one time mentioned how he wanted to buy all the members new cameras when he got rich and successful and get them something that he would desire for them. Hello, they're rich and successful now? He wanted RM to kind of have a really high-end kind of camera. Jin and J-Hope to have like a mirrorless camera, which are lighter cameras without mirrors in them. They're still considered really high-end though. And then for Jungkook and Jimin to have kind of handheld little cameras, maybe like Polaroids and things like that. And that will very much be their aesthetic, I think. The post doesn't say anything about V, so perhaps V has his own camera and he doesn't require another camera. Poor V, I hope he gets a camera too. Suga then said he would buy himself kind of a camera with a big lens to kind of be able to take photos of them kind of like a dad. You know when dads tell all their children to kind of come together and then they pull out this big camera and they're like, okay. They of course all would look forward to getting the camera. So this was kind of the full article that the fan kind of wrote up. This is what it said. Later when I earn a lot of money, I want to buy cameras to BTS members. Rapmon would love a high-end one, mirrorless one for Jin and J-Hope, and a handy one for Jungkook and Jimin. I'll film them with a telescopic camera from afar, just like a dad, KK. This is proof that Suga is indeed a dad. RM did kind of reply to this post by saying, thank you for the evidence. I assume RM is going to now take the post and then send it to Suga. And then do exactly what with it, I don't know. I mean, all of them now have enough money to buy their own cameras. But Suga owes them cameras, I guess. One person on Twitter definitely agreed to this. They wrote, help not Namjoon thanking an army for reminding him of the promise Yoongi made to buy him an expensive camera, as if Namjoon isn't a millionaire himself. I'm Kakao talking him right now. Let's go Sugar Daddy Yoongi. I think this is true though. Even though this was a promise kind of made a while ago, maybe this is a promise that's okay to not be kept. However, at most buying all these cameras for the BTS boys will probably cost Suga what, $10,000? What's $10,000 to him? He has far more enough to cover that. I think celebrities spend more than that when they go out shopping, like just for their clothes. And BTS, they like to wear designer clothes. They ain't no cheap baby like me. I need to go out and find evidence of my friends promising me to do things for me and see if they can keep those promises. Force them to buy me things now. I'll be like, hey, I know we haven't talked for 3 years, but you promised something like 3 years ago, and yeah, here's the evidence, so if you can just get me that right now, I will claim it. Because I have never ever broken a promise. I can tell that as the truth. I literally won't make a promise unless I know I can keep it. Weverse definitely has all the hot tea. I love how RM kind of jumped on it and was like, ooh,
this.
Like he was ready to send it to Suga. He was like, yes, I love that a lot. Us armies want him to keep his promise, you know. I really do hope that when Suga does kind of get them all cameras, he pulls through as their dad. They share it on Weverse for all of us to know, because we want to know. I want to know specifically what Jungkook got, because I want to go ahead and buy that camera too, because his aesthetic is just A1. It's just my aesthetic. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave it down in the comment section down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm featuring this comment right here. Thank you so much for watching. As always, I do have a Patreon. If you want to go over to my Patreon and kind of check that out, anything you can contribute over there really does help kind of give back to this channel and really help me kind of make better videos on here. So I really do appreciate you going ahead and checking that out. You can also get exclusive content over there, such as music video reactions, performance reactions, ship reactions, all that stuff on my Patreon. Make sure you check it out. There's also 2 videos that will be recommended to you at the end of the video on the screen, so make sure you click on one of those, and I'll see you over there. Bye.